September 5th marked the reinitiation of peace talks between the Colombian government and Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia. With the second of 5 delegations of victims set to arrive in Havana on September 10th, victims of the country's decades-long conflict remain at the forefront of the discussions.
It
seems to me that this delegation can help with reconciliation, as well as finding paths to look for a transition to civil life for the armed groups.
A la vida civil de las organizaciones armadas.
The opening of the new round was marked by a declaration from the FARC recognising the victimhood of lawyer Clara Rojas, who spent 6 years in the captivity of the guerrillas after an earlier statement from a guerrilla denying she was a victim had caused controversy. According to analyst Miguel Ángel Herrera, the statement shows a genuine commitment on the part of the guerrillas to the negotiations, after the two teams had hit rocky ground over the involvement of Colombian military officers in the process.
To rectify this situation, as they have effectively done, and recognize Clara Rojas' status as a victim, has been an effort, it seems to me, to reconsider a less intelligent move on their part.
Colombia now waits to hear who will make up the second group of victims, a list that will likely be announced by the United Nations in the coming days. While the peace process seemed to hit some rocky ground over the role of Colombia's military, with these latest declarations from the FARC, it appears that it is now back on track. Charles Parkinson for teleSUR in Bogotá, Colombia.
Ukraine's ceasefire between government troops and eastern rebels that began on Friday seems to be holding, despite reports of small breaches. While officials from both sides are tentatively holding out hope that further talks will yield an agreement for lasting peace, NATO leaders continue to accuse Russia of supporting the independence forces, though little basis for these claims has been provided. One rebel commander, known as Montana, placed the blame on the US, saying Ukrainian President Poroshenko is being guided by them and cannot be trusted. Egypt's public prosecutor has accused jailed former President Mohamed Morsi of endangering national security today, saying that they have new evidence showing Morsi leaked state secrets to the Qatari government. Qatar supports Morsi, who is already facing the death penalty under other charges, as well as his Muslim Brotherhood party. The government of current President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, who led a coup to oust Morsi last year, considers them a terrorist organisation. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg weighed in again on the immigration debate in the US. Speaking at Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim's annual charity event in Mexico City Friday, Zuckerberg reaffirmed his involvement in lobbying US President Barack Obama to push through immigration reform to help undocumented immigrants. The social networking mogul said the US immigration system is just a really broken thing that needs to get fixed.
September 5th is the International Day of Indigenous Women, a date which marks the 1782 execution of indigenous guerrilla Bartolina Sisa at the hands of Spanish colonists in La Paz, Bolivia. Together with her husband and brother-in-arms, Tupac Katari, Bartolina led an indigenous uprising against Spanish rule, and today in Bolivia, she is considered by many to be a martyr and hero, often invoked in anti-imperialist speeches by the government of President Evo Morales.
She was a woman of struggle, a leader who died for us, for our sisters, and today we are organised more than ever before. Before there wasn't any organisation, but today we are millions of women who have organised ourselves.
Together with government and military officials, hundreds of indigenous women belonging to a confederation of communal women's organizations that bear Bartolina Sisa's name marched to the Plaza Morillo of La Paz, location of the Bolivian Congress and Presidential Palace, and also the site where Bartolina Sisa was drawn and quartered by the Spanish in 1782.
This was the dream of our sister Bartolina Sisa, to govern ourselves, and we have made this dream come true.
The Bartolinas are traditionally strong allies of the government of President Evo Morales, who is currently running for re-election in upcoming elections this October. The Bartolina Sisa organizations have proposed to change the name of this plaza, the Plaza Morillo, seat of the Bolivian government, to the Plaza Bartolina Sisa. Reporting from La Paz, Bolivia, this is David Doherty with teleSUR.
In Guatemala, the country's former penitentiary system director, Edgar Camargo, appeared in court Friday together with former army captain Byron Lima Oliva to face bribery and money laundering charges. Camargo was arrested Wednesday for allegations linking him to a notorious criminal syndicate that runs Guatemala's jails. Oliva is already serving a 20-year sentence for the murder of a bishop in 1998. The US embargo on Cuba will be extended for another year, it was announced today. The sanctions, which have been in place since 1960, prohibit American businesses from trading with the island. President Barack Obama sent a memorandum to Secretary of State John Kerry and the head of the Treasury, Jack Lew, saying the move is for the national interest of the USA. In tennis, world number one Serena Williams glided through the semi-final against Ekaterina Makarova in just 60 minutes on Friday and will face former world number one Caroline Wozniacki of Denmark in the women's finals of the US Open tomorrow. In the men's tournament, Roger Federer will be playing Martin Cilic in the men's semi-finals today, with the winner facing either world number one Novak Djokovic or Japan's Kei Nishikori also playing today.
Facts that have marked the course of history. Productions designed in the English language and made for the English-speaking world. This is Documentary. Watch it on telesur.net/English. teleSUR, wherever the news, you'll be there.